There we go. Hi, my name is Dave from the Not So Much Chinese Secret Show, and we're going to be talking about a bunch of random things, really short, and I'm going to be going live every day at 11 Mountain Standard Time until this crisis blows over, I think. But anyways, I'll try my best. Today, thank you to Greg Gibson, who thanks John Harrington for sharing the fact that Adobe is giving 2 months of service free to us creatives. Now, I think you must already have a subscription for this to work, but if you go into your Adobe, sign in, and say, cancel my subscription, and then they ask for a reason why, and just write in COVID-19, and then continue to cancel, you'll get greeted with a screen that asks you, would you like 2 months for free? And you say yes, and you're good to go. And I only have a photographer's subscription, which gives me Lightroom, Photoshop, Bridge, but 2 months for free is better than no months for free. Yeah, thank you. So thank you so much, Greg. Thank you so much, John, for that little tip. Another thing, Brett Merle's in the house. Hello, Brett. I always get distracted when my friends show up. So it's like, oh, so sad, even when I'm going right on a monologue. Sadness. Anyways, another thing that I've just got, I ordered this very expensive ironing board. As you can tell from my wrinkly shirt, this is not for ironing. So can anybody tell me what I actually wrote the words there. What am I thinking? Is this going to be a superior slider support? This is a shout out to George Rady, who made a comment on Gerald Undone's scathing review of the Edelkrone slider. And I have a Edelkrone slider and agree with him on a lot of those points. Like firmware updates kind of suck. iOS app, that wasn't, doesn't work all the time. And you look like a bum in front of your clients if your app doesn't work right. It's just ridiculous. But he had this super tip where I think he didn't even take credit for it because it was a client of his and his wife just said, when he saw him trying to figure out how to set up his slider, he said, hey, why don't you use my ironing board? And it worked so well that he just bought the most stable ironing board he could. And this is a $150 ironing board, which sounds really expensive for an ironing board, but it's actually really cheap and inexpensive for a photography tool, right? Because if you ever tried to look for adjustable tables, and I've thought of everything from keyboard stands like quick locks and all that stuff, they're really expensive. Like you're talking $300-400. So if this works, I'll let you guys know. But shout out to George Rady. Thank you so much for giving me this tip, and for Gerald Undone for telling the truth about Edelkrone sliders. I did get their Jib 1, and I will do a review of that in comparison to their slider, but hopefully it works better. Greg says, sounds like a typical Joe Dickey kind of thing. Joe says, I carry a surfboard. Same idea, but more hip. Joe, nobody could be as hip as you. All right. Well, moving on to the next thing, and the last thing that I wanted to share was thoughts from John F. Kennedy, the beloved, and his thoughts on crisis. And spoiler alert, I cannot read Chinese, so if this word over here is wrong, I so apologize. Sorry, Dad. I can't fact check this. All right. So John F. Kennedy, and during his day, sadly, he did have to deal with a lot of crises, right? But this is what he had said about the Chinese word for crisis. He once remarked that when written in Chinese, the word crisis is composed of 2 characters. So far, so good. And if Google is right, that's how it's done. One represents danger, and the other represents opportunity. Every crisis is, at the same time, an opportunity. Whoo! And, this is the way that we're going to be looking at this in a few months, maybe a year, when we look back at COVID-19 and what it's done to our world, our planet, and to each other. And how in this day and age can we look at this as an opportunity? Whether that's to learn something new. I know lots of friends of ours are creating new opportunities to learn, whether it's the MANs. Thank you guys so much for opening a course. Tyler, or Greg, who's teaching online. Or can we learn new skills? Can we develop new things? And, I'm open to your suggestions as well. for those of my photographer friends who want to learn video, hit me up, man. What do you want to learn, and how can I help? But you know, for my friends in business, how can we creatively think our ways and create value during this time that, there's not real business as usual? So, yeah, this might be trying times, but let's look on the bright side and let's see how we can help each other out and look towards the future as well. So, one last thing is the thought of the day. And it had to be from the Bible, right? You just knew it. And it is from Galatians chapter 6, verse 10. And it says this: "So then, as we have opportunity, let us do good to everyone, dot, 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 and especially to those who are of the household of faith." And I really grappled with this. I really wondered, why do we give preferential treatment to people who are in the household of faith? And I really struggled with that, because shouldn't we be treating everybody equal? Because it says everyone, and then especially to those who are of the household of faith. And I think for me personally, I've been asked, what is it that you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? And this year in particular, I think what God's called me to do is help magnify those in this world who are believers but are doing good in this world. And so whether I've aligned myself with business leaders or my pastor, I want to help promote those who are doing good and are of the household of faith. And so hopefully this encourages you guys. That's it from me. Short and sweet. It is 11:13. I have now wasted 13 minutes of your life. Thank you for being here. And before I go, shout out to my wonderful wife, Quinn, who is here. And man, I hope you guys have a great, is it Wednesday? Wednesday, March 18th. And I'll see you tomorrow at 11 Mountain Standard Time. God bless.